In this video, I'm going to discuss why a highly promiscuous woman is perceived as a threat by other women. Women will support other women to make their own choices, but that support only goes as far as when those women are not seen as a threat. The moment they become a threat, this idea of feminism just completely falls apart. So why is a highly promiscuous woman viewed as a threat? Well, she's a threat to other women's relationships simply because of her promiscuity. From an evolutionary perspective, the male brain is programmed to take notice of promiscuous women and promiscuous behavior. It is because evolution has positively selected for men to always keep an eye out for this kind of opportunity. Men who did not have the instinct to recognize these opportunities were less likely to reproduce, while men who had this instinct were more likely to reproduce. You have to understand something. From a reproductive standpoint, to be able to impregnate and pass on your genes to a woman without giving her any sort of commitment, that's huge. That's like the equivalent of working a minimum wage job and then winning the lottery. This payoff is so huge that you have all of the corresponding reward mechanisms hardwired into your brain, like dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all of the pleasurable chemicals to incentivize you to take advantage of these opportunities. I already made an entire video about this. If you want to check it out, I'm going to link it over here. But because this happens from time and time again, women are painfully aware of this male weakness. This is why women in general, they tend to stay away from really promiscuous women. One of women's biggest fears is that their man is going to leave her and her children to survive on their own, just because he's been tempted by another woman. If the promiscuous woman gets pregnant by her man, then there's a very good chance that he's going to have to split his time, energy, and resources between the two families. Or worse, he might just abandon her and go with the promiscuous woman. Now let's look at this from a different angle. When a woman is negotiating for a commitment in a relationship, what she has to offer is sexual access. I explained this concept in depth in this video over here if you want to check it out. You see, for all women across the board, it will be really ideal to keep the value of sex at a very high fixing price because you want to convince men that what you have to offer is very valuable and worth a high level of commitment. But if there's somebody out there offering sex for free, then that directly undermines all the other women's effort of keeping the value of sex really high. You see, by the looks of it, promiscuous women are just making their own decision, their own choices, and it doesn't really affect anyone else. But in reality, their actions have a huge impact on the other women because by lowering the value of sex, they're essentially reducing the value of what other women have to offer. This is the reason why there's so much stigma surrounding promiscuous women. So much so that we even have the term slut-shaming. Research has shown that slut-shaming is more likely to come from a woman to another woman than it is from a man to a woman. And it makes perfect sense because they are in competition with each other. You see, while everyone is trying to keep the value of sex really high across the board, you cannot stop any one individual from giving it out for free. So slut-shaming is just a way to prevent anyone from wanting to be promiscuous. Let's take this a step further. We see a lot of women who work in the adult entertainment industry receive a lot of stigma from other women. Think of how many times you hear a girlfriend complaining about her boyfriend for watching pornography. That is because the girlfriend is in direct competition with those women on screen. Those women are taking off their clothes and showing off their body without asking anything in return. They are essentially reducing the value of what the girlfriend has to offer. So from a social and biological perspective, you can see why a highly promiscuous woman is perceived as a threat by other women. Alright, just a short video. I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, stay curious.